welcome back to the channel. Alright, so we were going to talk some more about the seeing tree of life, but I started looking at the sky, and then I saw that we're going to have this full moon on December 4th. So we will get back to the chakra videos, I promise, but I just want to talk about this because I saw a post that said this is the closest the moon is going to be to the earth, and it's going to be 18 more years before the moon is in this close to earth. And then bells started going off because the full moon is going to be, and this is the last one for 2025. You know, this was my year, 2025 alive, boy. Sky has been lit. But this is the last full moon of 2025, and they're saying that it's going to be a closest moon in 18 years. Well, we'll go over there and I'll show you what it said, because then it just opened up a can of worms. Because I got a lot of stuff to say now about this 18 years, especially because it's going to be at 1800 hours that the moon will be full. I always show you guys that this Stellarium program shows you exactly the time that the moon will be full. So like if you go back an hour, 1700 hours, it's not full yet, and it doesn't stay full for very long. She's always on the move, like I say. So by 1900 hours she's a waning gibbous again, but at 1800 hours she'll be full, the last full moon of 2025. And there's a lot of information about this moon. Now, you always got to take everything we study with a grain of salt. But I was doing a little bit of research on this stuff, and there's a whole lot of stuff about this moon standstill. They got all this terminology on it. Look at it, said terminology on it. And like I say, you gotta take all of this stuff with a grain of salt and remain. Now I like how the Megillah says, if you're gonna be on the road for the Lord and the Lady, you have to salt yourself with a heavy dose of tolerance. So that means you'll still have to go through and, you know, look for these things, even though you know some of it may not be right. You still need to know some of the stuff even that isn't right, because then in my case I get to rule it out. But it will help you. Just the more you know, the more you grow. So like I said, there's all these terminologies: lunar standstill, lunis. Anyhow, I really can't explain to you what I can understand in my head about all of this, but I would just tell you to look up what's happening this December 4th and see what they call it. I'll try to give you my best explanation of it all, but this is an 18.6 year cycle. Now somewhere in here it'll say it happened in 2024, but I think it's happening this year, because I show you that where these luminaries really are. They're not telling you that in hour, monthly, whatever. So some of this stuff says, but I remember because we had found that hawk right after my mother's 7-year anniversary in September, and then that was on My mother passed away September the 18th. So she's always right there at the fall equinox. I thought that was something ill, the way my mother kind of laid her body down at the fall equinox, like perfect time. And I was telling my friend about my mother. She has so many things with her, but there was an eclipse this year right after her 7-year anniversary, and that's when me and my son buried the hawk. I put pictures up. I think I made a short about it, and that's why I think that this is happening this year, because the little post I saw said the moon is not going to be this close to the earth again for another 18 years. And so, but this 18.3 degrees is a whole lot of information. You gotta check it. You gotta check it out. I already read it. I thought I could make a video about it, but it would take way too much reading. So I'm trying to summarize what's going on. Now remember, we were reading, you Megillah readers, that we're told in the Megillah, even little Miriam told that man, when she gave him that red ruby, she said to focus on the sun, which is the center of our solar system for this here chain of 7. And so they have some things drawn with the earth being the center, and so it may be hard to really understand what's really going on out there if we don't know like the basic structure of what's up there. But what they're talking about still makes a little bit of sense with the cycles of the moon. And I got pretty into this because there was years ago I used to study in the this Bible called the Companion Bible. I used to study Bullinger's work, Witness to the Stars and stuff, and he talked about these cycles. And so a Saros is a period of exactly 223 synodic months, which is 18 years, 11 days, and 8 hours. And it says that can be used to predict eclipses of the sun and moon. So one Saros period after an eclipse, the sun, earth, and moon return to approximately the same relativity geometry, a near straight line, and nearly identical eclipses will occur. This is what's been going on this year and the last couple of years with all of these eclipses. We've been going through a Saros, and I don't know really how to explain it to you guys, but I was going to read a little bit from this Bullinger, because when I was looking at the stellarium, I was going to give you guys some advice from what this looks like to me. The moon being full the last month of 2025 of this year, of this cycle, saying that mama's home, she got the light on, clean your houses, because there's this thing they have, you know, called a full moon release. And so you can really get rid of some things, and by the next full moon, which will be a whole new cycle that we have, guys, in this winter solstice, those things will be gone from within your temple, within your aura. You just have to do the whole understanding, you know, like what time as above so below, and you get help from the universe. It's like getting some real good fertilizer. The lights are on though for us to do this cleaning in this month right now, so I'm just gonna go over and read, because this kind of all looks like a clock to me now. And like there was a place in the Megillah that they were talking about the Nazarene fire letters, and Abigail would be able to keep the rhythm of the wheel. And so there is something that we're supposed to be doing when these luminaries are in certain places. So let's go and read from this guy, because he was really all into it. And what I love about Bullinger is that he was showing that in the Hebrew language, a lot of these stars and constellations names were preserved, and so that's pretty awesome. So I'm going to go over now to this Bullinger guy. This is called the Companion Bible, and it's an appendix to it, and it's Appendix 12. You could just probably Google the Companion Bible. But this is pretty good. It talks about the signs, the stars. Even the word says oath, signs to come. And so we won't read all of this because it's too much, but I wanted to go down and read about the sorrows. Each one of these have a whole breakdown. I think I showed a video showing this before. One day we'll just stick to this and read all about these stars, because man, that's what's next. So at the end of all of this, I was just going slow so you could see all the information that's there. It says that after it explains all those different signs, like look, Leo, the lion, Messiah, consummated triumph. Oh man, there's so much information. This constellation Hydra is the old serpent destroyed. Man, we don't have time to read all that today. But it says here, thus ends the scripture of the heavens. This is the story they tell forth. This is their speech they utter. This is the knowledge they show forth. There is no articulate speech or voice, and no words are heard, but their sayings have gone out into all the world. It says they are for seasons. Not only are the stars made for signs, oath, from the root athah, to come, but for seasons. These are not the 4 seasons of the year, but cycles of time. It says in Genesis 1:14 emphasizes this, and for seasons and for days and years. The word means appointed times. Okay. It says, thus the sun, moon, and stars are for signs, which means for things to come. And for seasons appointed times. So there are no less than 10 of these cycles, all of them different, not concentric, but yet all of them coinciding at creation, but never since, like a number of hoops of different sizes hanging from a nail. Okay, he says this shows that they must have had given a simultaneous start. So he's about to name, this guy says that there are no less than 10 of these cycles, and there's the cycle of 24 hours for the day, and evening and morning. The revolution of the moon around the earth, the lunar cycle. Now this guy is saying all of these cycles started at the same time, but they have different, periods of time. So the lunar cycle, which began at the same moment as the solar cycle, the daily revolution of the sun, which places him on the meridian at noon each day. The solar cycle coincided with the first of the 7 years of lunar motion and repeating itself every 365 days. The beginning of a week of 7 days on the first day of the week of the first month of the first year of the first solar cycle. The first eclipse of a cycle of 18 years and 11 days, to which the ancient astronomers gave the name of Saros. Each Saros containing an average of 70 eclipses, divided into 2 portions of 594 years and 666 years, making together 1,260 years. Besides these, there is the period of the Hellenical rising of Cyrus in a cycle of 162 years, the transit of Venus, and the grand cycle known as the precession of the equinox. So, this made me think, because it's kind of hard to tell, you know, what the real date is. Like, are we in 2025, 2026, or whatever? And this is pretty cool because this says that 70 eclipses. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you because I don't know really what the date is and what time it is, but there's a lot of cycles that we can be studying, and these eclipses and things that we've been having lately are just like, you know, whoa. And they're telling us something to be ready. Oh, there was one more thing from that Bollinger thing I wanted to read to you, because you saw where the moon was at, right? Maybe I can do this side by side so you can see what I see. Do you see what I see? And we'll read what it says about Taurus in the Hebrew. And you tell me what you think this full moon is saying to you. And Taurus, in this Bollinger's explanation, man, it means Messiah coming in judgment. In the Chaldean, it's Tor, hence Arabic, Al-Thur, Greek, Taurus, Latin, Taurus. The common Hebrew name is Shur, and that equals coming and ruling, and Re'im equals preeminence. The brightest star is Al-Dabaran, equal leader or governor. The next is Al-Nath, wounded or slain. The group Pleiades is Kima, equaling heap or accumulation. You can read those names in Job and Amos. A bright star is Al-Sayon, the center. Hebrew and Syriac name is Sukkoth, equaling boots. Yeah, they have a festival of that a little earlier in the year, right? I think it is about the harvest time. Well, another group, Hyades, equals the congregated. Deuteronomy, you can read about that name, I guess. Hyades, and Psalms, Isaiah. So all three of these constellations are a part of the Taurus constellation. It's not just Taurus. So you would read Orion says the coming prince. So the moon is highlighting all of this information. The coming prince, light breaketh forth through the Redeemer. In the Zodiac of Dendra, it is Hagat, equals this is he who triumphs. Orano, Hebrew, or light, or coming forth as light. This is juicy, right? Look at all this stuff. This is what a sign for the end of 2025. Oh, and we have a lot of things to be joyful for. I don't know if mainstream astrology is telling us that the moon is in Taurus. I don't know, but that's what I see, and I like this reality. So it keeps on telling us that this is what Orion is in Job, Amos, The brightest star is Betelgeuse, and that equals the coming of the branch. Ooh, hallelujah. That's in Malachi. And this is in the King James Bible, guys, where the Hebrew is preserved, the names of these constellations. It says the next bright star is Rigel, or Rigel, equaling the foot of him that crusheth. Bruise thy heel. Remember that from Genesis 3:15. And then the next star in this Orion constellation is Bellatrix, swiftly destroying. Another is Al-Nitak, equaling the wounded one. Then you have Eridanus, the river of judgment. I'm actually going to show you guys some of these really quick. This is pretty juicy, right? The names of these in there. This would be Eridanus. The river of judgment. In the Zodiac of Dendera, it is Pe-Tat, equals the mouth of the river. The brightest star is Al-Shanar. I don't know, you know, Al-Shanar, equals the after part of the river. So with the other names going forth, flowing on to the lower regions of the south. Daniel, Psalms, Isaiah, Nahum, Isaiah, 2nd Thessalonians. Got the name Eridanus in there, okay, in the Hebrew. And then Ariga, the shepherd. Wow, Isaiah 40, Ezekiel. Aruga equals charioteer. The brightest star is Alioth, a she-goat. Wow. Modern Latin name is Capella. Wow, this is the star that be looking at me in my window. Same meaning. The next is Manakalnan, equaling the band of the goats. Bound, never to be again lost. Oh, hallelujah. Wow. That's in John 10 and 11. In the Zodiac of Dendera, the shepherd carries a scepter, T-run, the top with a goat and bottom with a cross. Malachi 4:1-3, Psalms. Wow. I'm gonna look into this a little more, because I told you when I got this skylight now, and I was first had the bed right underneath it, and when I wake up in the middle of the night, I use that star program on my phone to get the name, and this is the star that I could see through my skylight. I hope I made sense sharing this video with you guys, but it's pretty long. I'm gonna get out of here. I hope the mic's working, because it's been really staticky lately, and I need to get a new mic, but we'll see. If it's real bad, I'm gonna throw some music with it, and then you'll know why I put the music in the background, in case you get to the end. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll be back, like I said, with some more videos on the rest of the chakras. We got the throat chakra, the third eye, and the crown still to talk about. And we're going to talk about all of these people that ascended and became these worker angels for this tree. It's the whole entire family. That's what I was saying. We're going to start calling the Essene Tree of Life the family tree. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll be back soon.